I learnt that the body has 3 sphincters. Wait, let me check that. I actually think it's got 4 sphincters. But I only thought we had 1 sphincter. Apparently we have 3 or 4. How many sphincters does the human body have?
According to reference.com, the human body has over 50 kinds of sphincters located throughout it.
Oh my god, we have 50 sphincters? I thought it was 3. Wait, where are these sphincters? 50 sphincters? I mean, we've got the main sphincter. I wonder if the butthole is the biggest of all the sphincters. Sphincter! I feel very German. I realise there are many things that I've learnt as an adult that I didn't know. There's a saying that's nip it in the bud. Basically means if something is starting to go wrong, you nip it in the bud, like a flower in the bud, before it blooms into something bigger. It's essentially saying if someone's constantly speeding, you tell them not to speed early on. That was a terrible example. Anyway, I always thought the expression was, let's nip it in the butt. Like, I don't know why I thought that. Oh, we will need to nip that one in the butt. Like, sort of like kick it in the butt, like kick it out the door. No. Oh my god, I learnt that a woman has 3 holes. 1 for peeing, 1 for sexing, and an anus. Right, I knew about the anus and about the, like, sexing hole, but I just thought the hole, like, to the uterus is the same hole you just pee out of. No, it turns out it's not. Oh, this one blew my mind. Sort of. Actually, no, it didn't. It really didn't. A dandelion, you know the things that you go, and it, right? You know those little yellow flowers that are always around the dandelion? That's a pre-dandelion. The flower becomes a dandelion. Did not know that. I thought dandelions just sort of grew instantly. Here's another one. A pickle is not a pickle. It doesn't just grow as a pickle. It's a cucumber. I still don't believe that. But apparently that's true. A pickle is a pickled cucumber. But they don't even look the same. As a kid, I loved the movie Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan. And for a long time, I just thought Lindsay Lohan was a twin. Because there were 2 Lindsay Lohans in that movie. They looked so similar. Well, obviously they were played by the one actress. And then as I grew up, I remember just thinking, I wonder whatever happened to Lindsay's sister. And I did some Googling, and then I realised with the power of CGI and movie magic, Lindsay Lohan played both characters. And I was embarrassed because I thought Lindsay Lohan had a twin. So to make myself feel a little bit better, I Googled things people learnt as an adult, and there are some amazingly stupid things. This one I loved. So a prima donna. We all know what a prima donna is. It's a person who... What's a prima donna? A very temperamental person with an inflated view of their own talent or importance. Oh my god, that sounds like me! So someone thought it was a term meaning pre-Madonna. So like an event happened and it happened pre-Madonna. That was really funny. And then someone thought Diana... I can't say this one. Diana, Princess of Wales. They thought she was a princess of Wales. That whales that live in the sea. How amazing is that? Imagine going like most of your adult life thinking, well, geez, it's weird that they call her Diana, Princess of Wales. Like, she's the only princess that seems to be in charge of marine life. There was this lady, and she thought a lemon and a lime were the same thing. But she thought a lime was not yet a ripe lemon. Hence the green. So she thought a lemon was just a ripe lime. No, they're very different. I learnt to change the oil in a car. Now, I'm like, of course that's something that you learn as an adult anyway, but the way I went about learning it was pretty embarrassing. I was driving along and the oil indicator light came up on my car, and I was like, oh, it'll be fine. So for the next 4 weeks, I drove with that little indicator light on, and then I thought, oh, maybe I should look into this. So I called my brother, who was a mechanic, and I said, Adrian, it's been on for about a month. Should I do anything? He's like, Christian, open the thing at the front of the car, the lid, and then look into the engine, and then there's like the dipstick. Side note, I used to get called a dipstick as a child, which I don't see how it's derogatory, because a dipstick is very important in checking the oil levels of a car. So it is in fact a compliment rather than an insult. Dad. Anyway, so I check the dipstick, and it's like literally bone dry. So I get this, like, it's like a 10-litre thing of oil. It was the smallest I could find. It was like huge. Like I'm literally like carrying it like this. And I go up into the car park, and I'm like, how the hell am I going to get this 10-litre thing and pour the oil in? Like, who even does that? Why? This has been so poorly designed. So I went back to Big W and I bought a funnel, and I pushed the funnel into the hole of the dipstick. And then I proceeded to pour the oil into the funnel. Now the hole for the dipstick is like, it's like so tiny. And I was getting so frustrated because oil was going everywhere. I was like losing my patience. I was so angry. I was like, how in Jesus' name do people top the oil up in the car in an emergency situation? This is ridiculous. Someone needs to redesign this whole system. So I get home and I'm like, Adrian, can you please add some oil into my car? I can't do it, and I don't know how you do it. Come out. He lifts the lid on the car and he says, oh, it's easy. I was like, oh, you'll need this funnel. It's not easy, trust me. And he goes, what? A funnel? I'm like, mate, you need a funnel. I know you think you're a really good mechanic, but that hole there to get that oil in, come on. And he goes, what are you talking about? And I was like, the oil, the dipstick hole to put the oil in. Where else does the oil go? And he literally looked at me like I was a complete moron, which I was. And then he said, see this thing here that has oil written on it? I went, oh yeah. It's a huge cap. Oh, and he unscrewed it. I was like, oh. And he goes, you pour the oil into this. And it was like this big. And then he just poured the oil in and put the lid on. And I was like, oh, well, that's embarrassing. Did you really try to top the oil up in your car through the dipstick hole? No, of course I did not. Who do you think I am? And then he looked at the engine, which was drenched in oil because I'd spilt it everywhere. And I was like, yeah, I did. And that was the moment my brother no longer looked up to me as a normal, sane human being. To be fair, he never looked up to me as a normal, sane human being.